And we also have a real treat for Razorback fans right now, and anyone that's in the listening area, and certainly around Harrison. We have Dr. Ron Rivard with us. Now, this is a conversation that can include how to take care of your heart and what it's like to play center for the Arkansas Razorbacks and for Frank Broyles, because Dr. Rivard is a cardiologist here at Baxter Health Crossroads Family Clinic, and he played center for the Razorbacks too. Dr. Rivard, thanks for coming on.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. Center with Joe Ferguson as your quarterback. So you know the ins and the outs of this position and what it's like, to be maybe, in a sense, to be Ricky Stromberg the day before the opener. Do you remember what you felt like before the first college football game that you knew you were starting?
To be honest, no. But you don't know what's going on a lot, so it sort of hits you all at once when you get out there.
Yeah, yes. And I mean, 2 years you were the starting center for Arkansas. This position, tell me what it was like just to play that position for one.
Well, it was great because you're in the middle of everything. And the best part was the people you played with that were, excellent. And we had, on our freshman team, we had 45 scholarships instead of 25. Mm-hmm. 4 guys ran a 4.4.
Ooh, no kidding.
Yeah.
What did you run?
Oh, more. Right around 5 even.
It's not bad. That's pretty good for offensive line, though, right?
It's better than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And look what Brady's done with what God gave him.
That's true. Could you throw a football well?
No, not worth the flip.
That's the reason to snap it back to the quarterback instead. How many shotgun snaps do you think you put back in your career?
0.
I was going to take a guess at that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the other way around now, too.
Yeah.
What's it like when you watch Arkansas football now, and really college football now, which is such a different sport than when you played?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And for good reason. You've got a lot bigger people that are faster and stronger. And so those collisions have a lot more energy involved in them.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
And you've seen on TV where they get a break like Theismann or, dislocated ankle. It's a big deal.
Absolutely. And the head injuries, too. What was your playing weight at center?
255.
Ricky Stromberg on the Arkansas roster is listed at 313. Yeah. And they said he was underweight when he was under 300 when he came in as a freshman. Do you think, what would it have been like for you to try to get up to that sort of weight? Because it's not necessarily like a normal size for these guys. I've heard they eat all day long.
Well, and they lift heavy too.
Yep.
But I suspect he's taller than I am. I'm 6'2", and I imagine he's 6'4", 6'6".
Let's see, we got Stromberg at 6'4". That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I see a lot of patients that are heavy, and I just say, well, their problem is they're too short for their weight.
Well, then, all right, so how do you end up – when did you decide that you were going to get into the medical field?
Not until I couldn't play football anymore.
And when was that?
I was graduating, and I went back and did pre-med after my first degree's in history.
Did you have thoughts of continuing football? Did you want to get into the NFL?
Oh, I wanted to do that since I was in the 4th grade, but I'd had too many knee surgeries by then. I think I'd had 4 by then. And so,
wow. You saw where Auburn center isn't their center anymore. Nick Brahms, one of the better centers in the SEC, retired earlier this week. And I think, he was like their guy on the offensive line, but said his body took too much of a beating, and he wanted to have a certain quality of life moving forward. You obviously have a great quality of life as a cardiologist, and I'm sure have had a lot of success. But are there times where you can kind of still feel that football career in your body?
Oh yeah. But it's hard to know as people get older. They acquire miles on their body other ways too. Like the guys I played with, if we hadn't been playing and doing this, we'd have probably been riding motorcycles and doing other stuff that you pound your body. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, I definitely probably would have added some weight. And one thing that I love to ask former football players is, how do you watch football? Because a lot of guys like to watch it from their position. Do you watch it from offensive line and back, to where, as the common person, watches where the football goes? Do you like to kind of sit there and watch a game through just what's going on in the trenches?
Well, it's a challenge because the camera follows the ball. So if you're in the stadium, you can watch it. But people stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. So if you're using binoculars, you can't really watch that either. And when my son played at Mizzou at linebacker, and I would just watch him when he was playing, and then his roommate, who was an offensive guard when they had the ball. But it's hard to, and you tend to be more analytical about it. But now everything's so complex, unless you know the play that's called, you don't know if somebody messed up or not. So I oftentimes say, well, why don't they block? Well, because the guy ran exactly where he wasn't supposed to, you know.
Yeah, that is kind of the difference. A lot of different moving parts, and if you don't know, like you said, if you don't know what's going on, it can definitely be confusing. During your time at Arkansas, what was the biggest game that you're always going to tell, that you told your kids? I'm sure you have grandkids. You know, what's that one game from the U of A?
1971, Little Rock. We played Arkansas, beat them 31-6 in the rain at War Memorial.
Yeah, you still have fond memories of War Memorial Stadium, don't you?
Yes, oh yeah. And Bud Wilkinson, the legendary OU coach, was a color man that night. And the great thing was they scored first, missed the extra point, and then they never scored again the rest of the game.
Wow. What are your memories of Frank Broyles, playing for Coach Frank?
The memory I have that I didn't know about when I was playing, but Coach Broyles had a lifetime of helping people. And he helped people that you don't know anything about. And anybody that played for him, they didn't necessarily start for him, he would help them get a job. He would help them in all kinds of ways.
Sam Pittman seems to be that kind of coach too.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
He loves people, and he's an encourager. And over as many years as Coach Broyles was here, he had connections with everybody everywhere.
I heard Sam Pittman say on a recent Hog Pod about, when you're a leader, you can't think about yourself.
Right.
The other people think about you, but you've got to think about everyone else. Not me. It's they. Yeah. That's what I get from Sam Pittman. That's what it sounds like you're saying about Coach Broyles.
Yeah, and I think part of that's because Coach Pittman was an offensive lineman. And offensive lineman is the perfect training for life. If something goes wrong, you get the blame. If something goes right, somebody else gets the credit.
And you're only as good as your weakest link, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they, in fact, they don't know your name. You're just the line.
Right.
And, but your job is there to protect people, to push people out of the way, and make other people successful. So,
Dr. Ron Rivard is joining us here on Halftime. He is a cardiologist at Baxter Health Crossroads Family Clinic in Harrison, and also a former Razorback starting center for 2 years. Tell me about this clinic here. I mean, we just cut the ribbon. I know it became part of Baxter Health in November. What has that done for the Crossroads Family Clinic?
It's made a tremendous difference. It's just an excellent place to work. People are happy to be here. There's the spirit in the building is real positive. You hear laughter all the time, and everybody has a servant's heart.
And as a cardiologist, I mean, you're dealing with one of the most important parts of people's bodies, and heart disease obviously has been an issue in America for a long time. You probably deal with some pretty difficult things as a cardiologist, but you got to be honest with people too. Taking care of your heart is sometimes a little difficult to get your mind around. When you try to talk to people about what you do to take care of your heart, what's top of your mind?
Well, if you took all the risk factors for coronary disease and put them on a teeter-totter, and you put being a male, having a positive family history, having high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and being out of shape, and being overweight, you put it on one end of the teeter-totter and put smoking on the other. Smoking will outweigh all those other ones put together.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So quit smoking as quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah. And vaping's not an option. Vaping is worse by multiple factors than smoking. So my best friend, Jim Bronner, played defensive end for the Razorbacks. He's in Branson. He's a smoking cessation specialist. And he is adamant about not smoking, but he'll tell people, keep smoking rather than vape.
Now, I mean, the tobacco settlement dollars obviously, I think, made an impact. You know, it's been like 20 years or so that the message has been out to not smoke. Have you noticed? Are you noticing that the smoking rates have gone down in Arkansas? Or are they still at a dangerous level?
Well, see, I only see people that need to see me.
Yeah.
So I'm not good on the sample. Yeah.
Well, you must love your job, though.
Well, I like people,
and that's what it is, really.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you can say, you know, you're a cardiologist. You got to be an expert on exactly what you're dealing with, but at the same time, it's like, and I hear people sometimes, you know, wonder about communication with health professionals, and they think, well, you know, they don't have the bedside manner and everything. It sounds like that is top of mind for you, is how to communicate to people.
That and being available. The most important ability is availability. If they can't see you, you know, they don't. You can't help them. And my view is if it bothers them, it bothers me.
How long have you been a cardiologist?
30 years. I finished my fellowship in 1990.
And how long in Harrison?
22 years.
Was this home originally?
No, I grew up in Tulsa.
Okay. But you stayed in the state where you went to school?
Yeah. I came to play football. I never left.
What is it about Arkansas that kept you here?
It's like many people's lives. It sort of had its own theme, and I stayed here, got acquainted with people, and loved it.
I mean, it really sounds like a fairy tale when it comes right down to it.
Well, it turned out well.
It certainly did.
There have been plenty of bumps.
Oh, I'm sure.
What are your thoughts on Arkansas football 2022?
I think they're excellent. Now, I'm not somebody, in fact, I really can't stand people that prognosticate and say, oh, they're going to go 8-3 and all that.
It's impossible to say, right?
And more importantly, I want to win every single game I play. Mm-hmm. If I'm not planning on winning,
why play the game?
Even show up?
Exactly.
You know, and there's not anybody you can't beat.
Is that the sense you have about this team right now?
Well, there's no reason for them to lose, no. But ball games are lost, not won. Mm-hmm. You fail to do something you're supposed to do.
All right, so
or you do something you're not supposed to do.
So where do you watch the game tomorrow, and who with?
I'll be with my daughters, and I have tickets, but somehow somebody always gets them. So
funny how that always happens, right?
Yeah, but I'll be with my daughter in Bentonville. Watch.
Well, one last question. I know you'd mentioned I did not realize Joe Gibbs was a position coach at Arkansas before he got into the NFL as a head coach, and he was your position coach.
That's right.
What was he like as a head coach? Because this is, I mean, Joe Gibbs is a Renaissance man. I mean, he's not just like a regular football coach. We're talking somebody that's a world-class racing owner, world-class football. He won 3 Super Bowls as a head coach. I mean, this is a rare person.
Oh yeah, he understands people. He's a real positive guy, and as a player, he was real easy to work for. Real easy. You know, there's some people that are really intense and sort of have the demeanor of a drill sergeant and the vocabulary of a sergeant like that. And that's not Gibbs at all. You know, his strongest word is hey, rather than other words that people say.
Yeah.
And but he's brilliant too. I mean, you can't be as successful at many things as he has. And he's got a significant Christian testimony too.
Yep. Well, I assume you also have, with the success that you've had to put a lot of time into it as well. And we appreciate you coming over here with us and being a part of Baxter Health Crossroads Family Clinic. And I know the folks in Harrison certainly thank you too. I'm not one of them, but I can say I would say for all of them, thank you too.
Well, thank you very much.
It's nice to meet you very much too, Dr. Ron Rivard. We'd say former Razorback, but you always know once you're a Razorback, you're always a Razorback.
Once you're a hog, dog.
Yeah, right there in the middle of everything. It is the starting center for 2 years.
Is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.